Ay caramba! Hola, it's Taco Tuesday. We're gonna make some tortillas and a whole bunch of things. I've got a little series of Mexican easy dishes from a ceviche to chicken to steak tortillas. Let's go, let's get into making the tortillas first. We're using Masa Harina flour, not just ordinary flour. This is made from corn and it's just delicious. 2 cups of the Masa Harina flour. Good healthy pinch of our salt goes in with our flour. And a little bit more for luck. Give that a quick mix up. Use a wooden spoon. Hot water is ideal for this. You don't need it boiling hot, but you need it hot. In goes the water all at once, easy as. It's 1.5 cups. And once you've sort of mixed it up a little bit, because the water is hot, we can get our hands in here and mix it all in. We can knead it a little bit. Be a little bit sticky, that's okay. Now is let it rest for about 15 to 30 minutes. There's plenty of time. Cover it with some cling film and leave it. After your dough's been hanging out for about 15 minutes or 30 minutes, whatever you decide, it's time to make some golf ball size balls. And that's 1.4 ounces or 40 grams if you're in metric. And just roll them up. Now, I don't like them too big because I want to have more tortillas, not one great big one and roll it up. So I go for small ones. I think 40 grams is about right. And I'll make 12 to 14 depending on what size you want. Now we can start cooking. Time to press our tortillas, or if you don't have a tortilla press, then a rolling pin, or just use a bottle of wine and use a piece of greaseproof paper or plastic wrap. Pop your ball in the middle, another piece of plastic wrap or greaseproof paper on top. Give it a little push down like that, and then it's a firm push. You don't want to squash the smithereens out of it. And then it is ready for us to pick up. And I find it easiest to just pop it into the pan and then peel the paper off. But you can peel the paper off like that if you like. The pan is on a medium heat. I've got no oil in there, no nothing. Cast iron pan is good, or a flat top on a barbecue. That's the way to go. I've got a tea towel and a bowl over here. I'm going to keep them in here because once they're finished cooking, they need to steam in the tea towel. So after about 30 to 40 seconds, we can just flip it over. So they're about a minute each side, but it depends on the thickness. Okay, that'll do nicely. Out it comes. Now it goes into the tea towel and then we cover it because it's going to steam. And that's how it's going to become pliable. The important thing is that you have fun making your own tortillas, and I'm pretty happy with mine. They're done in advance. I've got this little pouch, they're steaming in there, and all I'll do to heat them up is wet another tea towel with some warm water, wrap them up and pop them in the microwave for a couple of minutes. And as they steam in here, they become pliable and soft, and then you'll see later on we can roll them up. Once we get something in there, they're going to be delicious. Right, let's leave them alone to steam and finish their cooking. Everybody loves guacamole, right? So avocados, get rid of this little piece here, and it's always hit and miss what they're going to be like inside, isn't it? Sometimes we get some beautiful ones, so I'm getting those little pieces out there. Remember, you can always ripen your avocados on high speed by putting them in a bowl of rice, covering them, or in a bag with a banana. That'll speed up the ripening process. All right, we've got an avocado. Let's not do it up in the air like this because we don't want to cut our hand open. So pop your hand on the avocado, in with a knife. Now turn the avocado, the knife staying in the same spot. There we go. Now carefully, to get the pip out, take your spoon and get all that beautiful avocado out. 3 avocados for this recipe, but hey, if they're small, you might need 4. Now, a tip is get your onion that is finely diced up into a sieve. Now we're going to go to the sink. A little tip I learned in Mexico is they give the onions a good rinse. So it's not a full-on onion flavour, it's just subtle in our avocado guacamole. That'll do. Now just squeeze all that water out and into the avocado. Now we want a little bit of garlic. It's not a garlic guacamole, so just a little bit. Mince or finely grate as much or as little garlic as you like. Tomato, about 3/4 of a cup. It's all been diced up. You can take the skin off if you like. You can leave the skin on. We do not want a lime guacamole, so I'm only putting a tablespoon of lime juice in there. A little bit of coriander that's been chopped up in there. Now we need some heat, right? So you could use green jalapeno Tabasco, whatever you like. I'm gonna put about a teaspoon of this K-Pow green gringos in there. I'm gonna mash it up. Here we go. I want it chunky, so that's enough mashing. A little bit of your favorite salt. Everybody should be a salt snob, so you want to have a salt that you love. And now we can have a taste. Make sure we've got the seasoning and the heat right, and we've got enough garlic. Don't want it too limey. Needs a little bit more grunt with that K-Pow green gringos. Another spoon. And we're done. Now, I'm going to use this pretty quickly, but you could smooth the surface off and put some cold water on top and put it in the fridge, and that'll stop it going all brown on top. If you squeeze lime juice over the whole thing, then you're just adding a whole heap of lime to your guacamole. You don't want to do that. So just a light covering and cold water will stop it going brown. But we better make a tomato salsa to go with it. Our Mexican feast is coming along, isn't it? We've made our tortillas, homemade in fact. We've got our guacamole ready, tomato salsa. So, some tomato all diced up. We got rid of the pips and the seeds out of it because that just becomes water basically out of the tomato. So we got rid of that. Some finely diced onion. I'm using red onion because I love the color difference in it. So that goes in there. Some coriander. Some people love coriander. Some people are not so keen on it. I like it, so it's going in. Lime juice. About a tablespoon for this. Now, jalapeno. We've got some jalapenos here. Whatever chili you can get your hands on, and if you don't like it spicy, cut it in half and get rid of the seeds. But I like it spicy, so this is up to you today. That will be plenty, and you can always just have a little lick on your fingers to see the heat, and be careful what you do with your fingers afterwards, huh? There we go. In goes our jalapeno. Now, grate a little bit of our garlic in there. Not too much. I don't want a garlic flavored tomato salsa. Just a hint. Drizzle it in. Extra virgin olive oil is so good for us. All the antioxidants in there from the polyphenols in the oil. Now we'll season it with salt. Can't even really taste the garlic, which I like, but it's there. Our Mexican feast is not going to be complete without another sauce that's so different. Tomatillo sauce. Tomatillos are a little fruit. They're found in Mexico and Central America. They come in a can and they are going into the blender. Some coriander, onion. Doesn't have to be diced up, it is just for ease here. A little pinch of salt in there and some chili using jalapeno. I'm going to roughly chop this. That will be plenty. I want it to have some spice. Now we're going to blend that up. Ceviche, some fresh fish diced up, nice and small, some lime juice, and we're going to let the fish marinate in the lime juice. We're going to cover it and pop it in the fridge, and once it's opaque, it's ready. So about half an hour is good. And we'll just mix it up to make sure that every little piece is covered. Now, the fish has marinated for half an hour. You can see it's really opaque, which is great. The lime juice is still in there. We're going to get in finely sliced red onion in there. We're going to get some coriander, as much or as little as you like. It's probably plenty. the diced avocado going in, tomato, been diced up as well. Had a fresh mango, a whole mango, I've diced that up. It's just a little bit nicer than the pineapple, so whatever you can get. Every good Mexican ceviche has a little bit of chili because that heat will permeate through. So in that goes a drizzle of lemon extra virgin olive oil. If you don't have it, just use extra virgin olive oil because you've got lime in there, so that's going to be good. Some salt. Now we'll mix that up. Look at that. So we can get all of this that we've done so far ready before our guests arrive, have it on the table covered, ready to go. Now we're going to cook our steak and our chicken thighs because they're going to be delicious with all of these things. The steak has been out tempering. That's really important. That's where we're getting it to room temperature. So you don't want to get it out half an hour before you're going to cook it. You want to get it out about 3 or 4 hours before you cook it. Keep it covered and get it to room temperature. And that way we're going to get even cooking all the way through. We won't have any grey on the outside. Moisture is our enemy when cooking a steak. So I've got paper towels here. I'm going to dab it and dry it off. Because if we leave the moisture on, that will be the sizzling in the pan. It's the moisture boiling and we'll end up steaming our steak and we won't get a lovely crust on our steak, which is really important. There we go, our steak is ready. Now I am going to season our chopping board, and this way we'll get a really even seasoning on our steak. Our steak is a ribeye that does have no bone. Some ground black pepper on there, getting the edges, getting the other side, over it goes, and then we've still got some around there. So we're going to lose some of the salt in the pan, aren't we, when we cook it? So we really want to season our steak that's been tempered, so got to room temperature, generously with that seasoning. Look at that, beautiful. Now let's get our pan good and hot. Love cast iron pans because they hold the heat, but the barbecue's just as good. A little bit of extra virgin olive oil in there, and in we go with our steak. We're going to cook 1 minute on each side. If we flip it regularly, we're going to allow the steak to rest each time. When it gets flipped, it's going to hit a different part of the pan. We're going to get a better crust. So every 1 minute, we want to flip that steak. We're going to cook to an internal temperature using a thermometer, and we want to get it to 49 to 50 degrees C, and then we're going to let it rest. So step away from the steak, leave it to sear. After a minute, a fish slice is a really good tool because it gets all the salt off the pan. Over it goes. And we'll flip again, and you can see that the crust is starting to form. So getting rid of that moisture off our steak before we cook it is really going to pay dividends to have a wonderful crust. And when it's finished cooking, it's going to be even better. Our steak is resting, needs to sit there for a good 5 to 10 minutes. Whilst that's happening, we're going to cook the chicken. I've got the pan clean, and I've got some pepper going in with some salt there. Just a little drizzle of extra virgin olive oil over the top. I'm going to toss those around, just in there. So they're all covered, and it's boneless chicken thigh. And let's get these into the pan. Right, skin side down. And again, same as the steak, just leave it. You can do these on the barbecue. Okay, these are looking good. Now we'll let these rest just like the steak rested. Exciting time. Our chicken is ready, our steak is ready to cut. Let's cut it, put it on a platter, and then we're going to start making some tacos. Let's cut our steak. Let's have a look. Beautiful, even to edge. Slice it thinly. Right, our steak is ready. Those end bits for the lucky person who wants the end pieces. Move our chicken over, make sure our knife is clean. Oh, moist and delicious, look at it. Now you can take the skin off the thigh if you like, but I kind of like that lovely skin on there. So let us build a taco. Let's have a fish taco to start off with. And we'll just roll it up like that. And oh my goodness. Doesn't need any sauce or anything because the ceviche is just banging with flavour. So good. So the entree is a ceviche wrapped up in our homemade tortillas. Let us have a little bit of the tomato salsa over it. Put a beautiful piece of our steak on there. A little bit of that over the top. And we're going to have a little of the tomatillo sauce over it. And look at that when we sandwich that up. You guys are going to get sick of watching me eat. That's pretty delicious. Banging with flavour. But it's all homemade, right? Should we make a chicken taco? Let us get our chicken on here. Guacamole over the top. This is a bit of everything on this one. It's so good. And the tomatillo sauce. And if you've got a little bit of herbs you can garnish it with, absolutely delicious. Hey, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed your Mexican feast. Give it a go. Maybe you just give the guacamole a go. Maybe you give the ceviche a go. The tortillas, it doesn't matter. You just get cooking, because when we cook, we live, we love, we eat, and it's just genius. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It really helps me out. Really appreciate it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Happy cooking, everybody.